So on your blog, when you're creating the content, this is the blog basically is your island, you know, and this is where you're putting all your content. All right. So why do I have? So what are the different streams or different ways where I get people to my blog? So, if you're doing this right, and what I mean right, is like you have an audience of people who know, like, and trust you, and you have an audience of people that you've targeted. So I was listening to a video the other day, I think it was Gary Vee, and he said people they just want more followers. You know, I know I just gave you, it's kind of contradicting what I'm saying, but it's important because people want to know how many followers I get. You know, it's like, okay, on IG I have 26,000 followers. How do I get to 100,000 followers? But the thing is, like, if you have 100,000 followers and you have 200 people who are engaging, then that's not good business, you know. But if you have 1,000 followers and you have 800 people engaging, you know, that's a community right there where people just know, like, trust you, they love you, they're, you know, whatever you put out there, you know, they're sharing it, they're like, you know, even if you put something for sale, they're gonna buy it, all this stuff. So it's not about the number of followers that you have per se. It's basically the community and the engagement is was more beneficial. So, you know, going back to the example. So say, for example, say IG. So IG, since we went there. So you have 100K followers on IG, and then we'll say we'll give it a good example. So 60K of them, you know, they either watch your story, they comment, they like, they send you a direct message, all that stuff. That's a great community. That's obviously a great community. 6% of anything is a great community. So when you start putting up blog posts like, hey guys, you know, go check out my blog post. You know, that's, you know, just from IG, that's a certain percentage of traffic that you're getting. That, and obviously that's, you know, really high. But that's a certain percent of traffic from IG that you're getting, you know, every time you post a blog post. Which is really good. And when you start adding, you know, others, you know, Facebook, you know, say you have, we'll say on the business page, not the personal. You know, I mean, can you use personal? I mean, yeah, you can. You can be strategic about it. But my thing is, like, if you're trying to build a business, because even, you know, with Facebook, you cap off the limit at 5,000. So on your personal, but on your Facebook fan page or business page, you know, I mean, I think the last time I checked, and it's probably because I think the Fast and Furious 8 was out, but I think Vin Diesel. I don't just study like my industry. I study this industry, like where, you know, social media is going, and, you know, I watch, you know, my nephew, I watch, you know, other kids, and this is where their eyeballs are. They're all right here, and I see the way they're using it, how they're interacting. You know, basically how they think. You know, when they do iTunes, you know, they think it's a game because it's virtual money. So they're just like, you know, just go buy it. You know, yeah, you think it's just virtual money. They think it's virtual money, but it's actual, you know, connected to people's bank account. So like the way that they're using, you know, social media to, you know, make purchases and all that stuff, you know, as an entrepreneur, because the thing is, like, you know, the way, you know, we grew up, you know, we think it should be a certain way instead of the way that it's evolving. Like, change is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So you have to evolve with the change instead of being stuck in your ways. Yep. It's the same, you know, it's the same way where, and I'm not against it, and people still do it. You know, people still build a network marketing business, you know, from scratch, you know, just doing nothing but networking. Just go out there, network. And they say, I'm not going to use the social media and stuff like that. You know, I'm just going to network my way to the top. And it works. I mean, it works for them, you know, and it is still duplicated. But the thing is, with this, it can, it can expedite it, but two, it just, like, when you're building your brand, you can just reach a lot more people. Because my thing is, you know, with blogging, websites, stuff like that, like, most people are thinking locally. Like, I'm thinking about the world market. You know, it's not, you know, there's not, you know, like there's people here, you know, that I've met here in Dallas or whatever, network with Dallas, you know, that I love, and I'll network with them and stuff. But when they start thinking business, and I think a lot of times they only think about, and it depends on what industry you're in, but you know, they're thinking locally, where you know, some of them could be, you don't have to think locally, you could think, you know, region or state, you know, but for me, you know, I'm thinking international market, you know, and that's just, and not just because I'm in network marketing, but just the way I want to build my business. Yeah. Because I'm not, you know, I look at, you know, I've used Gary Vee, you know, he's kind of an international brand, but there's not a lot of, and I mean, but you know, my coach, you know, who's made millions in network marketing, I mean, he's not international either. So that's what I'm saying. You can go both ways. It just depends on the way you want to go. You know, me personally, I just think about international because not one, just because I've traveled a lot, but two, just, you know, if you are able to impact people in other, you know, using these resources, and you can impact people in other countries, I think, you know, it can,
why not do it?
Yeah, you know, hit those markets. So, yeah, so the same thing like with Facebook, if you have, you know, going off the Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious, but if you have a certain amount of people, say the same thing, 100K, you know, fans, and say 40,000, you know, like, trust you, you know, that's another, you know, certain percentage who are gonna, you know, take, you know, have some engagement, and then from that engagement, when you sell something, you know, after that, it becomes a numbers game. So, but this is a way, you know, you want people to come to your island, because once you get people over here, you know, to what it is that you're selling, you know, and you get it organically. Kind of, I was telling you, like my, you know, I did my YouTube thing. Then anybody who comes to it, it's not like I don't have to convince them that, you know what I mean? It's not a selling point of me like, hey, you know, you should try my product. No, you're already searching for it. So once you're searching for it, and then my website, my content comes up, and then you read it, you watch it, whatever, and it makes sense to you, all of a sudden, it's up to them just to take the action. And that's why I said at the beginning, you know, you have to do the work from. That's when people's like, oh, you know, you just click the button, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's not like that in the beginning. No. It's not like that in the beginning. But it can be like that later on, you know. But the thing is, you do have to do the heavy lifting up front. And you can get, and the thing is, like, when you start having teams and stuff like that, you get people to, you know, share it. So you like, you know, I mean, so for example, you know, tell people to share it on Facebook, and, you know, just say 5K people they'll share. It's not even, I mean, it's probably not going to be that much, but say 5K people share it. And all of a sudden that, you know, that goes viral to, you know, their fans, so people who are, you know, either want to make some money or want to buy that product or whatever, you know, and it just goes viral like that. But, you know, it takes time. You know, she's saying 10, 20 people a day, that builds up over time, if you're consistent. You know, the thing is, the problem is that, you know, people aren't building their network every single day. They stop. They'll go for about a month, 2 months. Like, man, yeah, it's like, oh man, only got 100 followers. Oh man, that email is the most valuable thing. That's the asset that you're building, essentially. You know, like I said, I love all these social medias. I love where it's going. I love how you can leverage it. But this right here, the key, you know, is to use these to not just get to your blog, but even when they come to my blog, I have sign-up sheets because I want them back on my list. You know, so people who are coming to my blog who are new to all these different social media platforms, you know, I have offers on my blog to send them back because I want them on my list. Because, like your situation, I want to market to them. You know, some people say, you know, I email too much, and but my thing is like, you know, it's just a different mindset because, you know, I mean, one, there's an unsubscribe button, so if I email too much, you can get off. It's not like, you know, when I started, I used to just use the Gmail, and then they're like, they'll take me off the list, and I had to go through the thing. I was like, I ain't doing that. I said, you can just block me. You know, I don't know why you can just block me. But, you know, now they have, you know, my email list, and they can just hit the unsubscribe button because, you know, it's the same thing. Like, you know, there's all these catchy commercials that people like joke about, whether it's like the Nationwide jingle people talk about. It's football season, so Nationwide's gonna come back. You know, the Geico commercials, like all these different, you know, like they're spending millions upon millions of dollars to get on TV, so that when you are ready to buy something, that's where you're gonna go. Yep. So that's why this right here is so important. So even if pick somebody to, join my business and they say no, and I'm giving them updates on what's going on in my business, then all of a sudden, when they're ready, they can reach out to me. So they're like, because if they're, out there searching or they're not happy with their company or whatever, then, I want to be on the front of their mind. Now, obviously it's not going to work like that 100% of the time, but, that's the strategy behind it. You want to continue to market to people, rather it's your, and I'm not saying, pitch your business opportunity every single time, but you can send them updates, you can send them training, valuable training, you can send them blog posts, you can send them videos, you can send them anything, because they want to be on your list.
Yeah.
If you send, 1 per day or 5 per week or whatever, and it's just a reminder, like, hey, I'm here, and then, you can, either send them to some training, or when you start selling something, like, hey, we got a new update, we have, this is a discount price, I just wanted to let you know, or whatever. So that's why I said these two right here are the most valuable things online that you can have, because you own them, I mean, you can call me a control freak or whatever, but
A little bit.
yeah.